Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you another live stream this Saturday, March 8th. And you can clearly see by the title what it is that I'm going to be going over, at least for the first few minutes of the live stream, where you have this brand new female artist. Well, brand new to the scene for most everyday average people that don't listen to a lot of music out there, right? Doshi, whatever it is. She decided that she was going to go into a show and answer a question. What is one of her major red flags? Now, normally, whenever this question comes up, people will say, like, maybe the person is broke. Maybe the person doesn't have any moxie, right? They don't have that type of thing where they specifically want to go out and do something, right? Or maybe something random. I'm pretty sure you guys have been asked that question before, and your answers have varied. Her answer was something a little bit different. It was something that kind of threw me off. So let's just head directly into the clip.
What's my biggest dating red flag?
Is it being on the DL?
You're on the right track. I have my answer.
Ah,
Is it close enough? Are you? You want to guess one more time? What would be a red flag for me?
bad music taste?
Oh, that is a good one.
Because that's meant for me.
That is a good one.
Like,
But that's
what
not
do you
what I
mean
put.
you don't listen to Michael Jackson?
But okay. Okay. This is a huge red flag for me.
All right. I was gonna say men. So
No, like, I mean, strike one. You're E and you're heterosexual.
so technically, because my mind was already there, I don't think I deserve to eat a wing. I think you do, friend. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, always go with your gut instinct. I think you need more sauce.
That's some crazy work. Hey, what is up, Gail? What is up, Tim? It's some crazy work out here. For the longest time possible, I've covered a variety of clips and or stories where you've had women out there for a variety of reasons that will say, hey, straight men just aren't it, right? And I've told people this before, that the way that the world is going is that if you are a heterosexual male, you are deemed invalid. You are deemed the utmost dangerous. You're deemed to have not contributed to society or making anything great, right? You're pretty much turned into a supervillain, a criminal, a oppressor, a jailer, whatever it is that you want to consider a negative. That is how people are trying to shape the narrative when it deals with straight men, right? That if there's a straight man out there, you're supposed to be fearful of him. He's up to no good. He's going to obviously do something. Just give it time, and yada yada yada. Right? It's that whole thing of pushing fear directly out there. And I'm like, this is wild. This is vastly crazy. And this also goes into the effect of something that I stated in a variety of live streams and videos, where if you have a mother in a single parent household, right? If you have a mother that had a bad relationship with the father or the fathers, or she just, has bad relationships in general, primarily that woman is going to talk to or around the child, aka the son, and specifically explain and tell these things to him, right? Like, oh, your father ain't this, your father ain't that, and all this other type of stuff. So you'll have a lot of these young boys that will internalize that, and they'll be like, you know what? I don't want to grow up, or I don't want to be a reflection of something that my mother loathes or hates, right? Doesn't want to be near. I'm going to make a conscious choice and decision to be something that my mother will like and love, even if reflection wise, I look just like that person. I'm going to be different enough so that my mom does not associate me with that, right? This is how a lot of this tends to happen. This is how a lot of this tends to start. But again, people don't want to pay attention. And this is when I've commonly stated to a lot of people that words matter. Words matter. But again, people feel or think that words don't carry a certain type of energy, that words cannot make a certain change, right? That it has no weight, that it can't shift something from the left to the right, forward or backward. I want people to understand that this woman, let me just go back to the main person, right? This woman here, she has a very large following all over the world. Young women and young girls who look up to her, who listen to her music. And going through the tweets, some of those women have stated that the exact same thing that she talked about here, in a sense, the red flag of a man is being straight, right? Being heterosexual. People have stated, women, that this is nothing new, that if you listen to her music, she has touched on this subject quite a few times. So again, she's been out long enough where women of all different ages have been taking this in. And if you pay attention to music, if you pay attention to the science, to the witchcraft, to the psychology, it's used to program people's minds. If you have people, let's say women who are, maybe I'm just going to be light on this. When you got women who are 30, 40, and 50, their minds are pretty much concrete, right? The music is not really going to shape anything technically, right? But if you have women that are lower than 30, just imagine what the music is going to do to them mentally. Matter of fact, we don't even have to look at the music. Look at social media. I just brought you guys a video where a mother stated that her son finally got up the energy, right, to ask his crush out, right, a girl that he liked. He was like, hey, I want to know if I could take you out. That little girl's response was, you can't afford me. That's crazy. Think about that. A teenage girl telling another teenager in her own age range, you can't afford me. That's some diabolical work. So if you already have teenage girls talking as if they are grown women, that they got a career, they're running a corporation, they got millions of dollars, they getting Birkins. If she's at the age of 15, 16, 17, already talking like them, what does that then mean for the generation of women listening to her? And like I said, she said that her main red flag was a straight man. I ain't never heard nothing like this in my life. That's crazy. That's some diabolical work. But it also goes to show that this is the one reason why you're not really seeing, as some people want to categorize, the masculine males, as they would like to say, in society. Women have stated from a variety of tweets and podcasts, oh, where are the masculine men at? And where is that? Well, there's a few different ways that those men, that people's society get rid of those men. Number one, they get locked up, right? Or they get caught up in some type of mess. Number three, they end up 6 feet under, right? And the fourth and last option is that a lot of them end up prescribing to what it is that she is stating, where they don't want to be deemed, quote unquote, as dangerous. They don't want to be deemed as an enemy. So they're going to become like-minded as the people that they care about the most, that they worship, that they love so much. Like I said before, if you look at any of the videos that I've done over the years, well, if it's the older channel, you might not be able to see those videos, but I had a compilation video where I showed women with young men. It could be their sons, it could be their little brothers, and they're dancing. You know how women dance, right? So you can only imagine how the young boys were dancing. And that would mean that they're taking on the influence of the women that are directly around them. They're absorbing all of that energy, right? They're becoming that. They're emulating that. So like I said before, it is what it is. It is what it is. A lot of people don't want to, pay attention. JK said, what's the context? The context is the artist that you see in front of you. Matter of fact, let me just replay because we got some new people in here. Let me just replay it, right? One more time. Right? So just in case, anybody else wants the context, there's the context. You got this woman here who is an artist who makes music, and she wanted to state that her main red flag when it deals with dating is if a male is straight. Again, I've never heard of this ever in my life, but now it makes sense because while that video was playing, I went to go look up something here, right? And they stated that in addition to earning praise for her dynamic artistry, Doce has made waves for being an open book about her queer identity. Quote, I think I've always been gay. I've always knew I was gay, right? So you're listening to a woman, for all intents and purposes, if anybody was to just look at her for the first time, they would automatically assume that this is a straight woman, right? You happen to see the imagery, you may potentially hear a song or two that might not specifically point you into another direction, right? And she identifies as part of the LGBT. And on top of that, she's specifically stating that straight men are a no-no. Straight men are a danger. Straight men are red flags, are a warning. Anything else but straight. So, like I said before, you have a variety of artists out here who are going to push a certain type of message. And now I'm starting to understand why it is that you have certain artists where you just see them come up on the scene and they just blow up out of nowhere. Because again, this is somebody I've never seen before, really. And they just like showed up on the scene out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, this is like that little Nas X effect. I got you. I get it. I get it. She'll be here for a few years. She will be here for a few years, and we'll see what happens. Because like I said before, remember we had Little Nas X. You saw what happened at one moment in time. Old Town Road, great song. Everybody around the world loved it. And then out of nowhere, went from Little Town Road to swinging on poles and, twerking on Satan. Like it was some crazy. I was like, wow, this transition here is incredible. But I'm like, I got it. You were here to send a little bit of programming out here to give that little dose. And, because everything is said and done, now you're a recluse, not pretty much doing anything at this moment in time, but living on the money that you currently have. And it's now on to the next artist. And it's going to be one after another, after another, after another, after another. Like I said, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. It is crazy work. So not only do you have artists out here doing this, but you also have other people online telling women that, oh, you don't need a man to raise a child. You can do it, by yourself. Go out there and go to a sperm bank. Don't worry about getting married. Don't worry about having a relationship and all of these other types of things. Crazy work. Like I said, it's crazy work all the time. And the main thing that I've been trying to point out is that, hey, one of the largest demographics out here, women, they are going directly after you. They are marketing this towards you. The psychological warfare is happening in your direction and in the direction of your daughters. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a simple straight man directly out here. I'm sorry, a a simple straight black man out here. And I'm the enemy. Oh man. Oh man. It's some crazy work. Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Crazy work. JK said, I think she said that because her ex cheated on her with a guy. So I guess he was bi or something. And then, yeah, Doce is definitely bi, like Tyler, the creator. It's crazy work out here. This is crazy, crazy work out here. Let me tell you. But like I said before, I'm just you know, letting people know, like, if your kids happen to listen to her, hey, don't be too surprised when they turn 18. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, let's go directly to the next video.
I'm already on the phone with the law, sir.
No, I'm getting the insurance.
Get it, baby. Get the insurance, but leave me alone. You could have, look at this. You could have killed him.
Please, my mom's on the phone.
Okay, I'm on the phone with
Don't
already.
call them.
I am on the phone with her already. Sir, I'm not taking your word for that. You have to be responsible.
Mom,
I don't care.
Tell
no.
her, Mom, she's getting the insurance.
Ma'am, so please send the laws.
Here, can you talk to her?
No,
she's
no, you could have killed
I know
him.
we have money.
I don't care about money. You could have killed him. That money, that's a life.
I know, and I care about it. Hey, sir, we're getting the insurance right now. Please don't do it to me.
Do it to you. You could have fucking
I
killed
understand. But we're just getting the insurance, man. Please don't do it to me.
Please leave me alone.
My mom's right here.
You better not look like you want to say nothing to me.
So if people don't understand that clip, let's just rewind that right back. So this young man here, let me just roll this back. Let's see if I can. This young dummy here decided that he wanted to whip around. Whip basically means drive, right? So let me just give further context to this video that I was able to find online, right? This is the backstory. It states the lady was broken down on the side of the road and she called her husband for help, who showed up in a Charger to fix her car, to fix the Lincoln Town car that had broken down. He was under, so the husband, right? He showed up to help out his wife. He was on the side of the road underneath the car, right? So then he was under the car trying to fix the problem when the young guy, the guy that you see in front of you in the Cadillac Escalade, rear-ended her vehicle into her husband's car, all while he was under the car. The young guy was also a CDL truck driver and was scared for the police to get involved because he knew he'd lose his license because of the situation, because he was indeed drunk, and when he hopped out, he threw a bottle into the grass. So that would explain why he is like, oh no, we don't need the police here. My mom is on the phone. She has the insurance. No, bro. You need to handle that like a man. You grown. You grown enough to drive and drink. You grown enough to deal with the consequences of driving while drunk. You could have very easily took the life of this woman's husband, all because you wanted to drive reckless, just being stupid. I don't even understand it. And then your mom is on the phone, not even cussing you out. That's crazy. That's 100% crazy. They both need to be thrown in jail. Like, the mom should be the main one. Not even just the wife should be feeling this way. The mother should be feeling this way all the way around. But I don't even hear her because I'm guessing she has to be on speaker because of the way that he's holding that phone. I don't hear no type of yelling. I don't hear him getting scolded. I don't hear her going crazy on the phone or anything like that. Like, that's crazy to me. That man could have very easily lost his life. And I'm guessing that the guy who is now, I'm guessing right here, this is the husband. I'm guessing this is the husband, right? Because if we go a little bit further back, we see the Escalade, of course, right? Nice looking car, and we can clearly see the damage. Look at that. Matter of fact, let me just rewind that real quick, right?
On the phone with the law, sir.
So we see the Charger, right? So we see the Charger in the right-hand corner, the black Charger, and we see the town car in front. Right? So the hood is jacked. Everybody needs to just know that. The hood is crumpled, right? Even though the crash happened directly from the back, right?
Get it, baby. Get the insurance, but leave me alone. You could have, look at this.
Look at that. And you mean to tell me it is let me let y'all know something. And somebody would always tweet this online. Somebody would always leave a tweet every day stating that if you woke up today and you're able to see this tweet, that's a blessing. The husband was literally doing what it is that a husband is supposed to do, what it is that a man is supposed to do if his woman needs help on the side of the road, right? He was under the car doing what most men do when it deals with cars. And this is what that car looks like that he was under. It is a I don't know how that guy got out of that that's beyond a miracle. That is beyond a miracle. I don't even know where the tire is on that car. The tire is probably in the trunk. And then the tire probably doesn't even exist. That's crazy. Call the police. Call the police. Get him locked up. Give him time. Him and the mother. Both of them need time. Because that's crazy work. Like you have no right to sit up there and try to press this woman talking about don't get the police involved. Don't get the police involved. You just need the insurance. Just take the money. No. Part of your lifespan is going to be taken because you almost took his. You almost took the whole half of her existence away from her because you wanted to be reckless. You wanted to be foolish. Crazy. That is so crazy. And just imagine, right? This was him drunk behind an Escalade. Just imagine if he was actually behind an 18-wheeler. Just imagine the damage. Just imagine the injuries. Just imagine the amount of lives that potentially would have been gone because this fool wanted to drink and drive. That's crazy. That is crazy. Man. Timothy said the tire is in the back seat. It probably is. It probably is. JK said, does he at least have insurance? Ain't no way he's keeping his license, but if he discovers an injury, he's screwed financially and legally. I guess they got insurance. The mom, I guess, knows the insurance. I'm not sure whose vehicle it is because he's sitting up there. Hey, my mom was on the phone. My mom was on the phone. Here, take the insurance. Here, take the money. It's crazy. She says it's not even about the money. And she's right. It's not even about the money. It's the fact that, her husband could have been gone. She would have had to plan a funeral. That's crazy. Like I said, I'm happy that man is alive. I'm happy all parties are actually safe and sound and completely healthy. But throw that young dude in jail. Throw him in jail for quite a few years so he can actually learn his lesson. So he can sober up. Because that's insanity. That is 100% insanity. And I've watched a lot of car crash videos on YouTube. And it is a blessing that husband made it out of there. Just imagine you were under that car when another car basically hit. I'm like I said, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed when it deals with mathematics, but I'm pretty sure that whatever math was supposed to happen happened at that moment. And somebody else down the road is not going to get that exact same equation. They're not going to get that exact same answer where you're safe, you're sound, you're healthy, you're able-bodied, you're able to, you got 2 arms, 2 legs, and no scratches. I'm pretty sure somebody else is not going to come out this situation is something similar the exact same way. Right? But anyways, let's continue. Matter of fact, maybe I might save that one for last, right? I want to put it on a little bit of a different note. But no. Yeah, we'll do it.
Bill. Now, I don't see you no matter what. You walk in that door, you will be seeing you bring your grandma with you. I don't see her too.
Okay. But here's what amazed us even more.
Right.
In the nearly 40 years Dr. Z has been practicing,
That looks good.
he's never taken a real vacation.
I think you'll live.
Tells every patient they can call him 24/7, 365.
There you go.
I have his cell phone number.
Does everybody have his cell phone?
He's always available.
This guy seems almost unbelievable.
He is unbelievable because you'll never meet another person like him ever.
A superhero, but hardly invincible. A few months ago, Dr. Z was diagnosed with cancer.
So I got 2 separate cancers. One renal, one rectal. But I don't give up.
And to add insult to injury, Dr. Z didn't have insurance. There was a whole series of snafus, but bottom line is he had no way to pay for his radiation treatments. Until his patients turned the tables on that ever-giving doctor.
I'm like, let's fight. What can we do?
That is evil. Now I give up on you, so we damn sure ain't giving up on him.
Whatever needs to be done to save Dr. Z, we're going to do it collectively.
So, collectively, they started a crowdfunding campaign. Nearly 1,000 people donated, raising more than $100,000. Today, his prognosis is good.
Right?
He got his insurance back, and now plans to funnel any money left over back into the community.
Over that mouth. You know what? I'm gonna say something that may seem crazy as heck. I'm thankful that I got cancer. Because I am the happiest man on the planet, no matter what the outcome. What we have shown and why we sitting in this table right now to show America this is what you're about. We about giving.
So I'm glad I actually did that, because we're dealing with blessing on blessing, right? And we're dealing with 2 black men. One was a husband doing for his wife, and he was blessed enough to get out of that situation with everything intact, right? Probably not even a scratch on him. And in this one, you have a doctor who pretty much works pro bono. If the families or whatnot can't afford it, no problem. He's like, I got you. Bring your kids in, bring yourself in, bring whoever that you got. Matter of fact, bring your other family members in. I will see them. I will help them out. And this is what it looks like when you have a doctor that cares about being a doctor that is not paid for, right? Meaning that big pharma and everything else does not control his movements. He's not going to prescribe or give something to you that you don't need because he wants kickbacks and he's getting this and that behind the scenes. He's doing it because he loves the work that he does. He's doing it because he loves the people. He's doing it because he wants the longevity of individuals. He wants people to actually be healthy, right? And he's not just trying to soup you up on some placebos, making you think he's doing a job that he's not. And because of the work that, he was doing, he inevitably had the exact same assistance that he's been given to the community. He had that assistance returned to him and then some when it was his turn, right? So the man who was out there helping everybody else in turn needed help because he had 2 different types of cancers. That's crazy. And this always, I always have a question of why is it that, let me see if I can just go back to so this is the doctor here that you're able to see, right? With a child in the community. The question that I always have is, why is it that people like him always are made to suffer, right? In some type of way, fashion, or form. It just can't be a good story, right? There has to be something detrimental. There has to be something horrible. There has to be something on the horizon that is going to potentially cut that life short. You got all of these other individuals out there that cause nothing but chaos, recklessness, sending things into a full-on spiral of, dissent and everything. None of those individuals tend to suffer. They actually get the best treatment out of the whole world, which is the craziest thing. But those who want to actually be selfless, those who want to benefit, those who want to help, those who want to love, those who want to value and respect the people and lives directly out there, they tend to suffer the most. It's incredible how that works. It's incredible. And then for the doctor to not be angry, not be mad, he's like, you know what? It's a blessing that I had it. Somehow, some way, this doctor, no matter what he was facing, no matter how his life was potentially going to get cut short, he was like, you know what? It's a blessing that this happened. Because this happened, it's able to show the good and the greatness within the community. Right. And I want to say, technically, not even just that. It also showed the fact that if you have somebody that is willing to do something for free, right? He more than likely, medical school, had debt up the yin yang, all of that, right? But he's like, hey, I had to pay for something. So in return, I'm just going to give this for free. And this is another reason why a lot of people have stated that you have more longevity when it is that you have Black doctors, when you have Black caregivers that are there, that actually care, because they're going to do the job that they're supposed to do, because when they see you, they see themselves. Right? Like I said before, that's incredible. And shout out to all of them, because I want to say that should have been Baltimore. Right? Shout out to all of those people out there. Much love, respect, and appreciation to all of the bloodlines out there. Because I know it's probably pretty tough for a lot of them out there, because a lot of them are parents. They got kids, they got bills, they got everything going on. And they're like, you know what? We can put some stuff directly to the side, because he needs this more than we need it at this time. He's done so much for us. We can afford to sacrifice. We can afford to do this. Like I said, that's incredible. That is incredible. But I also wanted to showcase this because this is something that they're not going to realistically promote. They're not going to promote fields of doctors to act in the same manner as this doctor here. They want them to do the complete opposite. They want them to be, selfish. They want them to be careless. They want them to be reckless. They want them to make money on top of getting money directly under the table. They want them to be brought and paid for. Right? So let's continue. Let me see which one we want to do. We'll do this one here.
I mean, you refusing to leave the property or identify your residency?
I'm about to go to the store.
Okay, so go. Get moving. If I see you back on property, you'll be detained. Because you do not live on property. You refuse to identify. And you're refusing to leave.
Who are you, dude?
Property security, it's what we're here for.
You haven't identified yourself.
I'm property security. I'm with Front Range Patrol,
I don't know
33.
What's your name?
I don't have to give you my name. I'm not a police officer. You don't pay my paycheck. My taxes don't do nothing about me. But your taxes have nothing to do with me.
I don't have to give you my name, dude.
Okay, so I'm asking you to step out of the vehicle now, man. I'm not going to do this with you tonight.
You're going to open my vehicle?
Absolutely. You're on private property. You're refusing to identify, and you're refusing to leave private property. Okay, what unit?
I live here.
What unit?
I live here.
So I can advise property management.
Who are you, dude?
Who on their property is acting like an absolute child? Making threats.
Making threats?
Yeah, you told me, do you really want to do this right now? When I simply asked you to turn the music down and stop smoking in the parking garage.
I turned it down.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a threat.
I turned it down.
And I also advised you that you need to identify yourself.
And you open
or
my
at
door.
the very, because you're on private property.
No, I live here.
I don't care.
I live here, dude.
I don't care. You have refused on several occasions.
Dude,
you've been asked several times what unit you live in.
I'm about to go to the store.
Well, it's too late for that now.
No, it's not.
Now we're waiting for my partner.
No, it's not, dude.
Yeah, we are.
You open my door, man. Okay. I'm about to go. Now this dude want to block me from leaving.
So you claim to be a resident? Are you going to tell me what unit you live in?
I'm trying to leave, dude.
Okay, so here's how it's going to go, man.
I'm trying to leave, bro. I'm trying to leave.
Oh, cool. So now you're willing to hear me.
I'm trying to leave, man.
So here's how it goes, man.
I'm trying to leave, dude.
You're refusing to identify what unit you live in.
I'm trying to leave, dude.
And as soon as you're questioned about it, you're like, oh, I actually live here. Oh,
I do.
Now that they're actually going to do something, I'm going to decide to leave property. So as far as we're concerned, you are not a resident of this property. If I see you on property again, you will be detained.
Okay.
If I see your car here, unless, again, I don't see any sort of permit, If I see your car in the parking lot again, it will be towed. You understand?
No, I don't, but okay.
No, it will.
I hear you.
Okay. So are you going to come back to the property, or do
I
you
hear
understand?
you. I hear you.
You hear me? Awesome. Have a good night.
Let me let y'all know something. The attitude and everything that he was given directly off, I promise you that 9 times out of 10, if that black man in that car was white or even Asian, it would be a vastly different conversation. Far too many times that I've witnessed videos like this, it doesn't matter if it's top flight security, it doesn't matter if it's private security, it doesn't matter if it's the cops or whoever it is. Somehow, some way, if there's a black man that is quote unquote the issue, like this dude tried to make it seem, it's going to be a problem. Like, it's crazy to me to watch him. He literally opened up this dude's car door. Bro, you're not even a cop. What are you doing? Like what really are you? What is really going through your? Let me let y'all know something. Let me let y'all know something. If this was Chicago, I promise you, he would not. How to sit up there and frame this real quick. He would be different. He would be acting real different. Let me just. it would be real different. Real different. Real different. Matter of fact, he probably wouldn't even be working at whatever parking structure that he's at this moment. He probably wouldn't even be there. He'll probably be trying to, be in the suburbs somewhere. Right? And even if he were to work, let's say downtown Chicago, the energy that he's giving off right now, son, that'd be the last time. You would not, I promise you, this dude would not open up any black man's car. He would not open up their car door in Chicago. That'll be the last car door that you would ever see, touch, smell, feel. That'll be the last time. But again, because a lot of people out here, specifically him, his type of people, don't have a certain type of healthy fear. This is what happens. And when I mean healthy fear, I mean by way of respect, right? Because no man is just going to walk out of his home and decide that, oh, the first guy that I sit up there, see, I'm about to be massively disrespectful. I'm just going to be doing anything I want to do. No. Every man out, usually, on most occasions, men out here have a healthy respect for other men. Because we know that if we get out of line, that chances are very slim that people are going to make it home. That's normally how it goes, right? Whenever men go directly out, the last thing that a man really wants to do is to get into a fight, aka an altercation. Sorry, phone drop. Because we know that the end result is that somebody's going to have a very huge medical bill, or somebody's going to be planning a very nice funeral. And nobody's trying to be responsible for any one of those. This man has no type of respect at all, especially when it deals with black men, because he feels that he has ownership of whatever, when, just like he said before, there's a corporation or whatever that is paying, that's footing his bill, right? So he feels that he is above everything. He's like, this corporation is basically paying for me. I can do whatever it is that I want to do. Your tax dollars and dollar. He's talking. He was a failed cop. I 100%, I can see it, and I believe it. I feel as though that this man was a failed cop by his demeanor, the way he's eyeballing, the way he's talking, the way he's opening up the car. On top of the fact of being in that parking structure, he decided to park his car in such a way so that the black guy can't even leave. That's crazy. That is 100% crazy. And people wonder why it is that you got black guys out here always in fight mode, always in defense, fear they life because of stuff like this. And this ain't even a cop, and he's acting like this. Nobody else in the United States would have allowed this dude to talk to them or act like this in any type of way. But again, a lot of other people got the protection, the complexion for the protection. So they can act differently. A white dude, if this happened to him, he can get out of his car. Hey, buddy, you're not gonna, they can sit up there and do that, right? They can get into a shout match and all those other type of things, and chances are ain't nothing gonna happen. This dude got so fearful that he went up to the black guy's car door, swung it completely open, and then decided to pull out a taser and start pointing it at him. Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm listening to the guy's voice, and I'm like, he's calm in his car. He ain't even getting irate. He ain't hollering. He ain't even throwing no mama jokes. He ain't talking about sleeping with your fiance or whatever it is that he ain't throwing no type of insults. He's actually pretty calm, fairly calm, because a lot of other black guys out there, oh, would have been on site. It's like, oh, you opening my car door? No problem. I'm about to open up a can of, it'll be that whole type of deal. But that's not what took place. The dude stayed cool, calm, and collected. If this is the way of this man winning some type of lawsuit where he basically owns this business, hey, so be it. I glory to the winner. I hope it works out for him, and I hope he does too, because rightfully so, he will have a lawsuit. This dude was not doing anything where this top flight security guard felt like he needed to defend himself with a taser. And this also shows you that he was a failed cop, because most cops in videos, the first thing that they go to, if it's not their service weapon, they automatically go to a taser if they're dealing with a young black boy, if they're dealing with a black teenage male, or if they're dealing with a older black male. Any which three of those categories, they're always grabbing for something. Every single time, always got the hand directly there and it's unholstered, just waiting. And I'm like, so that's your comfortable position while having a conversation with a person? Like you just have to be ready. It's crazy work. Crazy work. Diabolical. But like I said, this is where we are. this is where we are at this moment in time in America. Right? So now, dealing with the school systems and how it is that I've told a lot of you guys, like, hey, for any of the parents directly out there, you may want to, monitor your kids. You may want to have some conversations to make sure everything is everything. As you can clearly see by the title, it says Greensville ISD middle school student tattooed each other using the same needles in class. Now, somebody has to let me know, how is it possible that these kids are getting tattoo needles or whatever it is, and they're tattooing each other in class as if they're in juvie or prison or something? Like, this is crazy work. But let's get into it.
So it broke the skin and scabbed over.
Ashley Armstrong already had a lecture.
And remember, they're using the exact same needle.
Jordan. Scabs from tattoos are now seen down his arm reading, "I heart my Lord," plus initials tattooed on his hands.
He got punishment for it. He got punished for it. He knows better. He shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Now the Greenville mother wants answers.
These kids are getting these tattoos in class, and not one teacher noticed it.
Armstrong received a call from the school nurse at Travis Intermediate Tuesday. She was told to get lab work done immediately on her 6th grade son. Thursday, Greenville ISD confirmed the in-school tattooing of students. A statement posted to social media read, "Teachers assigned to the classrooms where the incident allegedly occurred have been suspended pending the outcome of an investigation." Going on to say students gave each other tattoos using temporary ink and the same needle. Greenville ISD is working with law enforcement to identify all students involved. The district didn't say how many students were tattooed or how the tattoo needle got into the school. Armstrong's son told her a boy in class approached him and the tattoo was done in the classroom with a teacher in the room.
The needle was shared several times from one class to another class to another class. It's with the needle, so I don't care if it's temporary ink or not.
But Armstrong is still unsure what is under her son's skin, hoping the scabs don't scar. Test results came back negative for any diseases, but the 11-year-old is due back to the doctor next week as a precaution.
This could affect him seriously affect him. Yeah, I'm not letting up on none of that.
And I asked Armstrong how many parents here from Travis Intermediate have reached out to her and also have confirmed that their children were also tattooed. She tells me more than a dozen parents as of this afternoon have reached out to her about this, saying their children were also tattooed, but that number has not been confirmed or released by the district.
And this is the problem that I've always stated with the school system. Whenever it is that something happens or it goes wrong, they're not going to say anything. Uh, every parent directly out there in the community should know how many students were specifically tattooed. There needs to be all types of blood work done because you don't know what anybody has. Some kids are born with certain things because they got it directly from their parents. I've covered stories directly on this before. Some kids have stuff because kids are doing stuff early. I've covered stuff directly on that before. Using needles and especially unsanitary, this is not the conditions to be doing any of that. It's not a clean area. You're underage, you're not licensed, you don't know any of what it is that you there are so many things that could very easily go wrong in this instance. And to know for a fact that teachers were present and they didn't say or do anything. Like you're not sitting up there telling me that the kids just put their desk together and then they just lined up some books and he just sit up there and he started like using like the needle. Normally these things, even the needles that prisoners use in jail, they make noise, right? There's a motor that is there in order to go up and down, through the skin to inject, the ink. So to know for a fact that this is done in a classroom during the daytime while teachers were there and present and they did nothing, oh, the whole school should be sued. The whole school 100% should be sued. Why I don't hear anything about a lawsuit taking place, a class action lawsuit, is insane. It is 100% insane. And then on top of that, then a civil lawsuit should also take place by way of whoever that kid's parents were. Like I said, all around, somebody's adults are going to be responsible for what it is that took place. Because that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, just imagine if one of those kids had a incurable disease. Just imagine that. And now her son has to live with that and take medications for the rest of his life because of what somebody else wanted to do. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is wow. But like I told you guys before, like, the parents, the school system don't care. You have a lot of parents out here that don't care either. So if the school system don't care about your kids, everybody heard the story, right? School system don't care. They didn't even come out with the standard issue excuse. They're like, well, they're not here up until, further notice. That's it. And then the mother was like, from by way of the reporter that, hey, supposedly 12, a dozen students were given tattoos, but that number is not really confirmed. That's crazy. You don't even know what's really even going on. It could be way more than that. And then no telling, how long has this even been happening? How long has it been going on? Because this is just the first instance. More than likely, this student has done this many a times before. Like I said, it's crazy, man. Y'all gotta, really watch out for y'all kids. Y'all really gotta pay attention. You really gotta watch out for your kids because these adults out here do not care. They do not care at all. But let's continue.
Or have this make-believe story.
So just to give a little bit of a before, this woman here was originally with Nelly, right? So before Nelly got back with Ashanti, it was this woman here, and she's going to explain how it is that Nelly ended up with Ashanti, right? So let's take a listen.
Think or have this make-believe story. I left because I wanted.
Hold on. Somebody said black kids cutting up in class as usual, and y'all trying to blame the teachers that probably aren't even white. What are you even talking about? Let me, because you want to be stupid directly in the comment section. Let me let you know something real quick. How this basically works is that the main primary guardian or caregiver is the parent. The moment in time that the parent decides to put their kids in school, now you have a secondary guardian provider that is supposed to monitor and watch over those kids. Because let's say an incident takes place at school, right? And like a mass school incident like we've seen over the years, right? We're going to sit up there and blame the school system. We're not going to sit up there and turn around and decide, oh yeah, it was the parents' fault because they put no. That's on the school system because they were supposed to make sure to have checks and balances. They were supposed to make sure that not everybody could come through that school. They're supposed to make sure to have metal detectors, to have security and all this other type of stuff. But no, they decided that they didn't want to do that. They wanted to forego that. So now we got a school incident that happened, and now kids have to pay the price because adults who are supposed to be managing the school didn't do what it is that they were supposed to do. So yes, if I'm sitting here telling you at this moment in time during a live stream that I am blaming the school system, I am blaming the teachers for why it is that this took place, yes, I am saying just that. But also because you're too deaf, dumb, and stupid to actually pay attention and hear the rest of the words, where I sat up there and said, not only the school system should be taking the blame and catching flack directly for it, but also said the parents as well. I said the parent of that student. Because I said not only should the school system get sued, but also the parent. But like I said before, this is what happens when people want to pull up to my live streams and they don't want to specifically actually pay attention. They don't actually want to listen to the words that come directly out of my mouth during the live stream. Crazy work, though. Crazy work. But let's go back to this.
Think or have this make-believe story. I left because I wanted initially, I guess, space to see maybe will the space bring us back together, or do I need this space because I just need to rip off that Band-Aid? So, and initially I wanted the space or the break to rip that Band-Aid off. So but no, like no ill will, nothing bad. Just sometimes people don't work out. People grow apart. Like sometimes one person might want to be still in the situation and the other person is like, this isn't working. It happens, you know? Right, it just didn't work out. And that is all good.
Right? So what inevitably ended up taking place, JK said, who is Nelly with now? Or he said, no, Nelly is with Ashanti. Like they got a full kid and everything. they making a whole family right now. As this woman basically explained, she was like, hey, I basically wanted a break to basically see if this was the relationship, if this is the spot that she wanted to be at, or if she just needed to be free, right? So again, this was what she wanted to do. So instead of Ashanti, in a sense, being in the spotlight, being a brand new mother that she is, glowing, looking great, beautiful, it more than likely would have been her. She would have been on, like most of the unknown women, they would have been on IG, they would have been on somebody's podcast or whatnot, or whatever, just living it up because they were pregnant because of a male celebrity, right? Living off of that fame and everything like that, formulating some type of a brand and yada, 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 right? But that's not what took place. And I'm pretty sure at this moment in time that she is regretting taking that break. I'm pretty sure, because she is looking how everything is going, and she's probably like, you know what, that could have been me. My name could be, you know, all over the place. People could be, you know, really looking at me and, you know, asking me questions and pulling me here and there. Could be just living it up, and now it's back into the ether at this moment in time. Back into the ether. I guess, you know, sometimes people make the wrong plans. Sometimes people make the wrong plans. Let me tell you, people make the wrong plans, man. But yeah, yep. JK said it's getting hot in here. Yo, that's that's a classic. That is a classic. It is a classic. Wait, what was it? Wait, y'all said somebody throwing insults in here. What's going on? Wait, let me go back up. Bungani, what is up? What is up? What is up? We got Lamiko on the building too. What is up, Pink? What is up? What is up? We got Officer Haku, aka Brandon V World. What is up, brother? I was actually looking for you to see if you was playing Mech Breaker or you know, Monster Hunter. Started. But yeah, we shout out to Miss Exit. What's up? Actually, we got two individuals here that are a part of, well, I think Miss Exit was. Wait, did I read the comment correctly? I think you said you were. You was like, I agree with you, Mr. Sedgwick, because I worked in, okay, yeah. So at one point in time you were in the school system, so you know from firsthand, you know, knowledge and being directly in there, right? And we got a few other people here that are a part of the school system as well. And I've heard quite a few stories. And, you know, this is why I've stated before, you have some people there that care, right? That know, you know, about the lives of the kids and everything surrounding that. And you end up hearing a lot of heartbreaking stories and seeing a lot of things going on and whatnot or whatever. And the craziest part is you'll have a lot of teachers that will legitimately care about the students, but the school system is the one that doesn't care. And in a lot of instances, you will have the teachers being penalized for literally trying to do their job, which is loving the kids, which is raising the kids, which is valuing the kids, right? They'll get penalized for doing the correct things, which it's the most insane thing. Because even in my life of going through school, I've seen teachers who care. In some instances, people would say like maybe they care too much. And it was more so the parents that should be, you know, really in that role. But when the parents obviously don't care, when the parents obviously aren't there, you would obviously want somebody like that teacher to take their place. Because if not, then that child is going to be abandoned. That child is not going to have anybody to lead them down a positive road, you know, to push them to go for their dreams, right? Or to instill certain values that may be missing, or maybe to give them some reassurance because they're unsure, they're not sure about themselves, right? Because they're still growing, they're still trying to figure out, you know, a lot of things, you know, in the world and everything, you know. So Tim said, how is that Monster Hunter? Monster Hunter is actually pretty dope. Before I started the live stream, I was doing a few hunts, still going through the story. I think I'm on like chapter 5 right now. I should have actually been done with Monster Hunter, but Mecha Break came out, so I was playing that with Officer Haku and Ty and whatnot. Yo, let me tell you, we was doing work, burning up the skies. Let me tell you, work out there. Let me see. Did I catch up on the? Let me see. JK said my mom is a retired teacher. She did that after school program. You need after school program to keep kids busy. When they get bored, they get into trouble. Yeah, that's true. And it's also, you know, I would say depending on the kids as well too, they'll tend to get into trouble. If you got kids that's, you know, pretty much laid back, they're into video games and stuff like that, or like watching TV, you're good. Your kid is pretty much going to be a homebody. They're not going to be doing anything outside of the home, right? Ty said, we hopping back on. Yeah. Probably a little bit after the live, get back on some Mecha Break. I got another video here. Let me see. Oh, this one is a little bit crazy. I want y'all to pay attention to this. I made sure to actually blur what took place so that you guys can, because I'm working on some stuff here, right? So I blurred what took place as much as possible. I also got the captions directly up there so you can get the full audio and everything like that. So we're going to see how it works out. You know, it's a 50-50, but let's go.
There's a seat here.
Just leave her alone. She's still.
There's a seat. There's a seat here.
You can record all day.
There's a seat here.
Pay attention to the accent of the European.
Exactly. We're all sitting. It's all right.
But it's not space.
You're sitting, sir.
Did I give you permission?
So that was the husband that I'm assuming hit the phone out of her hand.
You are right, but
Okay, but can you move?
Then you got the wife.
Can you move, please?
God, no, I'm not
I'm
moving.
not giving you permission to record.
No,
So can
I'm
you
not
move?
moving. No, I'm not moving.
You have to tell me you're recording. You're not even
No, I don't have to tell. I will kill you. Kill me.
Luba smírense, bueno, fácil. Hostia, because I move.
ya está, no, quédate ahí.
Luba.
Excuse me, excuse me.
She just spit in my face.
Yep.
Luba smírense. Can you move, please? Because I was sitting here and she came here.
So I just want to pause it right there. This is why I've stated before why I, as a Black American, I have problems with immigrants coming directly into America. These are immigrants. You can listen to the voice. It almost sounds like a little bit, like Russian, European, somewhere over in that area, right? You can obviously tell that they were not born and raised here because they wouldn't have that accent. They still wouldn't be carrying that, right? They will be sounding as American as mom's apple pie or whatever it is that people tend to reference, right? And both the husband and the wife decided to be on the same team. The husband is like, yo, I don't want you sitting next to us. You shouldn't even be here. I want y'all to know that there is so much space directly on that bench that there should be no problem. There should be no issue. But obviously there's an issue because the woman is Black, right? So he raised the issue, and then she's recording because rightfully so, she needed to record in order to have proof of what just took place. So he decided to sit up there and slap the phone directly out of her hand. So that's what we saw first. Then after that, a few seconds later, you saw the wife, while still holding one of her children in her lap, decide to reach with her right hand and try to slap the phone directly out of the woman's hand, right? And then after that didn't work, she then sent a vocalized threat talking about that she would take the life of that Black woman, right? And these are immigrants. These are immigrants. And notice how the husband is not correcting his wife. They're all on the same page. So if you got the husband acting this way, you got the wife acting this way, what does that then mean? How the kids are going to act? Guess what? They're going to do the exact same thing as the parents. If the parents don't like Black people, guess what? They're not either. So then what did she decide to do in front of the husband and in front of the two kids? She decided that she wanted to use biological warfare and hawk tour directly on a Black woman. Let's continue.
Can you move, please?
So you're sitting, I'm sitting there.
No,
space.
you came to my space.
Sir, we're all sitting.
We are in that
Okay, I know, but she came to.
If that is absolutely
Yeah, in public
fine.
place you can record.
You can record. But see, why are you? But because over a seat, ma'am, it's not. It's not the point. The point is, I can't. You cannot walk away without speaking to her, ma'am. So are you saying it's okay if I go to the first row and just sit in between two people like that now? No, I'm not. That's not right. That's what she was. Okay, but I will speak with her about that. I am going to talk to her about that. Ma'am, can you step back from me, please?
Zigzag, shut up. 100%. He talking about some, I believe that Black people are more racist than white people these days. What? You smoking crack. I don't know what you want. You on something. Hey, whatever you're on needs to be outlawed. 100%. Whoever sold it to you need to be jailed. That's crazy. That's crazy work. That is crazy work. Black people being racist. Okay, so let me just let me just guess if you're, white or not, right? So I'm black, right? So I'm going to throw myself in there, right? So you said that black people are more racist nowadays. So how could I be racist in such a way that would prohibit you from any movements around the United States? Not only that, but also your family, your financial, your education, your housing, and everything like that, right? Let's just play with this, right? Because you're saying that black people are more racist these days, right? So let me tell me the laws, rules, and the regulations that are in the United States right now that black people have enabled, put in place, that can be racist towards white people and just prohibit and stop you from doing any and everything. I'll wait. I will wait. Feisty said, I've heard so many black people talk about being the real human race. Okay. What's the problem? I'm a little bit confused. Wait, the ever loving outdoors said job selection. We don't control. Are you stupid? We don't control job selection. What are you you hold on, you do know, let me just, for anybody white that's sitting directly on this live stream right now, I want y'all to actually think back to when y'all were talking about the whole DEI fiasco, the affirmative action, right? That was primarily affecting white women, Asian, Hispanic, and everybody else. That had little to do with black people. I don't know if people realize that or not, or if people have looked at the numbers or not. That didn't have anything to do with black people. Just want y'all to understand that, right? So this is why you got Asian students right now trying to sue the colleges for not being accepted into these colleges. Because originally when affirmative action was there, guess what? There was a nice sized Asian population there. But Asians have now realized that since affirmative action has been gone, since it has been dismantled by way of them as well, because they sided with you guys, that, hey, our population in colleges are actually going down. We're not actually getting accepted at the same amount of rates that we have in the previous years. Oops. Well. I guess people are going to sit up there and learn the hard way. And the craziest part that I love so much, shout out to Relevant Love for the $10 dono to the channel. Much love, respect, and appreciation. The thing that I love so much is that when I point out racism, people want to be like, you know what? It don't even matter what happened in this video, even if it was racist, even if it was terrible and it just shouldn't happen in general. Black people are more racist than anybody else on the planet. And for you to actually believe that to be some type of logical, factual point shows how disturbed and warped you are directly in your brain. I also specifically stated that what laws, rules, or regulations that are present in the United States, black people have created in order to stop, halt white people. I've yet to see it. And then, the craziest part is, if black people are actually so racist, then why would I actually take out the time to, in a sense, have a conversation, to even converse, to even have a back and forth? That's the crazy, like, that's how flawed their logic is, where they were like, oh, blacks are so racist. They're racist against whites. If that was the case, then we would just not talk to y'all. Realistically, we would not associate. We would get rid of y'all if y'all were a part of the family. We're just going to exile all of y'all, right? Because some of y'all are married directly to our families, one way or another. We would exile y'all and the kids, but we don't do that. We bring y'all directly to the cookout. We showed y'all how to Cupid shuffle. We show y'all everything, but yet you want to continue to try to say that black people are racist. That's diabolical work. That's crazy. That's 100% crazy. But like I said, live in your delusion. 100%. Go out there, live in your delusion, and everything is soon enough going to collapse like a house of cards. Let me tell you. He said, so So you thinking, perpetuating, saying black people are human race and white people come from monkeys isn't racist, then why was it when it was blacks? You know, the funniest thing about that is, let me put it to you like this. I was never born with a tail. I believe that people should be very proud of their heritage. Like Frosty. I'm pretty sure that you know that you guys came from the Caucasus Mountains, right? You guys literally came from caves, stones, right? This is why you guys love the Flintstones, right? I'm pretty sure you know this. If you don't believe what it is that I'm saying, you can go look up the Caucasus Mountains and look up the people who live there, right? Look up that whole area. For whatever reason, magically, you guys don't want to lay claim to that. Y'all want to lay claim to everything else. You'll be like, we built Africa, we modernized it, we built the pyramids. If white people didn't build the pyramids, then it was aliens. It was no way that anybody that looks black built that. You're not intelligent. You don't got the science. You don't got the methods. But like I said before, you got somebody like the Dogon tribe that knew science before your greatest minds even knew science. They knew about the solar system. They knew about the planets. They knew about what Sirius A and Sirius B. They knew about stuff before y'all even knew what it even was, before y'all even had a telescope to even scope it out in the skies. They knew about it. But yet, your same people, your educators, are trying to sit up there and say that melanated people are completely ignorant. And the only reason that they became intelligent was because the Europeans stepped foot onto their land and made it better for all of them. Crazy work. Crazy work. So, you know, people do have different starts on this planet. In your experience being white, I'm pretty sure that you guys like to go with the theory of Adam and Eve. But if we go with the theory of Adam and Eve, that would also mean that incest was taking place, correct? Because if Adam was with Eve and they created Cain and Abel, then who was with Cain and Abel to populate the rest of the planet? Right? Because from those folks there, magically the whole planet was populated. But the craziest part with that is, how could white people populate a planet where the greater majority of the planet has melanin? I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit lost. My bad. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just all over the place right now. D Money said black people have never benefited from any DEI program. That is facts. That is facts. Feisty Frosty says same outcome. Gentleman rated. How about the Ukrainians move back? Boy, I mean, I guess for what is it, Paul? I guess that would be a question for you. I wouldn't know anything about that. I guess you're more so into Diddy, right? Because that's a weird question to, in a sense, ask a man. I'm not like these other guys that's grown up in the younger generation, where it's like you ask them like a question dealing with something crazy and they're automatically jumping for the money. No, we don't do that here. I mean, maybe you would, which again, by all means, do whatever it is that you do. I have no problem with it. It's 2025. I'm not judging. Just don't come here with that nonsense. Let me see what we got. D Money said 5v5 basketball pickup game. I usually pick the white boy last. Sorry. Hey. Gail said, we aren't racist. Racism is a whole social construct. Black people can be biased, prejudiced, and or bigoted, but not racist. And these are all facts. This is why I love Gail. That's why I love Gail. 100% facts. Let me see. What else do we got here? We got gentleman. He said Cat Williams. LOL. JK said white people, black people are the most racist. Black people, y'all ninjas started it 100 years ago. That's facts. That's just facts right there. Oh, me 321. You talking about the skit? Okay, I got you. You said look at the bust of Nefertiti. Very red, very beautiful, neither black or white. Let me see what we got. Relevant Love said, you have to control politically. You have the control politically, socially, economically before people can be considered racist. Bars. Straight bars. What else we got? I'm just trying to make sure to catch up to the comments. Okay. So now, after seeing that video, again, all of these videos that you guys are able to see, I will have these in a shorter form video content directly for you. So now we're going to go to the next video.
Economic exclusion, right? I need y'all to understand that. Like there's nothing that a black man or black woman could do to cause this, right? I'm gonna walk y'all through it and break it down so that way we can have a conversation. So the thing is that black people were set up to fail. Y'all keep acting like the problem is black men versus black women, but like we woke up one day and just decided to hate each other. No, the real problem is that black men got systemically robbed, black women got systemically locked out, and then America told us to date like white people, right? In a system that was never built for us to win. Right, so let's just start with the facts. Black men weren't allowed to build generational wealth. Every time we tried, they stole it. Tulsa, burn. Rosewood, burn. The GI Bill handed to white men when black men got scraps. Social Security literally excluded black workers at first, right? So white men got free land, free houses, free education, and a head start. Black men, you know what they got? Job discrimination, mass incarceration, and redlining. But somehow we're expected to be providers in the same way. How? With what? Right, like that's the conversation that black men are trying to have. But hold on. There's another conversation that's going on at the same time. Black women weren't allowed to build financial security either, right? They couldn't own property for years, right? Couldn't even get a bank account without a husband or father signing, right? Got pushed into domestic work that paid nothing, right? So, and they were forced to be main caretakers even when they work full time. So now they're exhausted, right? Because America expects them to work full-time and be full-time caregivers, unpaid, no development, nor growth. Are you seeing it? Right? The American dating model was never for us. The American dating model does not work with black couples. The reason why white couples prospered back in the day was government handouts, one-income households that only worked because government backed the wealth. The government was acting like somebody's wife. Right? And black people never got that. Okay, so instead of fixing the system, America just told us, work harder. Black men stop being so broke. Black women stop being so independent. No, just fix the decades of exclusion that got us here. Okay, just fix the road that took us here and we'll stop walking on it. Okay, so black men were never allowed to build wealth. So the struggle to become they struggle becoming the providers America expects them to be. That is all that happened. Okay, and the lack of sympathy that we're being encouraged to show to each other is just wrong, right? Black women were forced to work and do unpaid labor, so now they're exhausted and don't want to carry men. Period. That's it. Okay? Black women could not be paid to work, but had to. Do you understand that? You like black men, we at least got to have the land stolen from us. A black woman would have never got that deal. Okay, she would have had to stay home her whole life. Had to find a man her whole life. Okay, like that isn't normal, bro. You didn't need to go find a wife to be able to succeed in life. You didn't feel like that. Okay, and I hate that I have to explain it, but we're not the enemy. Both are struggling, but instead of fixing the system, America just makes us turn on each other. So if we're going to talk about black dating struggles, we have to talk about how economic exclusion created relationship insecurity in the first place. Stop blaming each other. Start blaming policies that rob both of us.
So we were able to hear that, right? So the brother clearly stated that at the minus all of the problems and the issues that we see on social media that a lot of people tend to focus on and go directly over, that, hey, equally, both black men and women suffered. We both had our troubles and our issues, but somehow, some way, what inevitably ended up happening is that greater minds out there were like, hey, we got both of these people that are having issues and they're trying to rise up. We can't have that. We got to really separate this. We got to really figure out a method or a way in order to have one feel better than the other, or to have one feel that they suffered more and nobody else could happen to understand or have bared that suffering. So what inevitably ended up happening was that those greater minds were like, hey, black women, guess what? You guys have suffered more than anybody else directly out here. Nobody else could ever understand it, even if they went through, even if black men went through the exact same suffrage that you guys went through during slavery, they still could not sit up there and understand it because yours was just so much greater, just for whatever reason. And they use that upon many other ways and methods and devised a plot in order to further separate black men and black women, to further have them in these deeply entrenched arguments that will never be solved because everybody is caught up in their own emotional way or battle or theory or thought process. And because you have emotions that are so heavy, that are so weighted when it deals with a very complex, complicated situation, people are only going to look at or see their side, especially when you decide to tell them that you did not suffer as much as them. So now everybody is playing both defense and offense, while the quote unquote enemy is just moving directly around those folks because they know at the end of the day that, hey, we don't got to do anything. They're going to self-destruct. They're going to keep themselves busy. They're going to be blinded by their rage, by their hatred for one another, by the debating, all of these things, which is great, right? We're going to allow them to have that circus and to be directly there. We're going to have the tent and everything, and then we're just going to move around them and conduct business as usual. And that's what they've been doing. That's 100% what they've been doing. And this is one of the many messages that I've tried to, get through and talk directly about and try to showcase because, hey, I'm like, hey, there's certain things here that we need to fix, that we need to get bare bones about. We might need to just rebuild the whole house because everything might have mold on it, or it might be attempting to grow some type of mold, right? Or maybe something wasn't built correctly. We might have to just end up knocking down the whole foundation, right? And just rebuild from scratch. But, no matter how it's placed, it seems as though that a lot of people don't want to pay attention to the facts. A lot of people don't want to be made aware that they are, in a sense, blinded and entrenched in a type of rage and emotion that is empty, right? It was manufactured. Now, again, people rightfully so have feelings, right? Rightfully so. People can feel a certain type of way, but to try to hold down a corner on pain, to try to, hold down an area on any type of hurt is crazy. That's madness. Like, you're literally going to turn yourself crazy trying to do any of that versus allowing somebody else in who has the understanding, who is there, who can see it, who can empathize and sympathize. You're not going to go crazy if you got somebody else who has shared that exact same instance directly with you. You both can walk through that, right? You can unravel all of that emotionally. You can put that in the filing cabinet where it needs to be, and you're going to be healthier for it. But because the system that we have at this moment in time already understands that, they know that, hey, if black people get together and they start healing themselves, they start becoming healthier, they're going to walk a certain type of way. They're going to be standing, straight up. Their chest is going to be out. Confidence is going to be directly to the max. And they're actually going to be fixated and focused on the real problems that are here that we don't want them to focus on. Like I said, this is where we are. This is where we are. And this also goes back to the very first video that I posted to you guys where it dealt with the artist Doce and what it is that she stated. Again, these are part of the many distractions that they throw within the black community in order to cause a multitude of chaos. Like I said, at a point in time, some people would be like, hey, if I want to destroy something, I would just get a large enough type of like bomb or whatever, and I would just do that, right? Let's say if you wanted to clear out a mountain, right, you would just get a large enough bomb. But if you did that, you would end up causing a crater, and you might not actually demolish the rest of it, right? So in order to properly clear out that land or that area, what would you do? You would decide to use smaller explosives on a larger scale, encompassing the whole of the area so that you can get the desired effect. Right? So it's about, the quality over the quantity. Quantity, quality. Hopefully that was a better example. Maybe it's not. Sometimes I'm bad with examples, but I'm pretty sure somebody out there caught what it is that I was saying, right? So you're looking at the the diversions, the chaos, right? You're looking at these mini bombs being set up directly when it deals with the community, right? And they're hitting different pillars, right? They're hitting different structures. They're hitting different streets in order to start clearing out and to get the desired effect that they want. That's all it is. It's real simple. That's all it is. It's crazy. It's diabolical. Diabolical. Mm, 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 mm. It's diabolical work. Diabolical. But yeah, that's I want to say Timothy said the black dating sector will accomplish is making LGBT more black so it can be blamed on the black community. And I agree with Tim. I agree with Tim. I feel like that is going to be something that will happen, that will surface a little bit later on, because wherever black people are, somehow, some way, black people will be the poster child and they will be blamed for something every single time, like without fail, which is the craziest thing. It is vastly insane. And like I said to a lot of people before, I wouldn't have to really focus on color if this was not a part of the structure of this society, right? If this was not how the United States was born, guess what? We wouldn't have to talk about color. We wouldn't be saying black. We wouldn't be saying white. We wouldn't be saying this and that. We wouldn't have to say none of that. But due to the way that I was raised, aka by way of America, right? This is the teachings. But it's crazy when somebody is taught at home how to think or how to have a certain outlook, when it is that you return that same exact outlook to the people who taught you, they deem it to be a problem. It's crazy. It's diabolical work. Diabolical. Jim G said, "There is not as much racism in America as people think there is. I'm a white dude, and the rich look at me no different than they look at a black man. We're garbage. I think it's supposed to be we are. We are garbage to them if we don't have money." Well, you know what, Jim? I'm happy that you have that outlook, right? The problem with that is, historically speaking, this is what white people have created, right? They have this safety net. They've created this society. They created this system. They created this land, stolen, taken, however it is that you want to, put it out there, just so that they can profit, so that they can be the best, right? You guys did what you had to do in order to get away from Europe, the United Kingdom, however it is that you guys want to write that story, so that you can have your own land, so that you can rule over yourselves and away from them. You guys literally went to war, right? But even after that happened, somehow, some way, your forefathers got together and it was like, hey, we gotta, really do something about this land. We're gonna have some lower class workers. We really have to pull some people over here because we're not going to do it. I am not picking up any type of items and working my hands to the bone and working from sun up to sundown. I'm not doing that. Let's get some slaves. and this is how America was formulated. This is how America was born. Let's get some slaves. That was it. That was it. Well, some people like to say that the Europeans originally, first and only out of all the places around the world, they only saw Africans selling slaves. So they were like, hey, this seems like a good trade. Let me buy a few thousand or a couple of million. Let me also make some boats. I don't know where we're getting like the wood from and where we're making this on the shores, but let's get these boats and let's get these slaves together and we're going to send them over to America. We don't know where that is, but we're going to send them directly over there. And you guys are going to work the land. Why we just sit up there and just give you a few lashings if you don't build it correctly. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. But Jim, I would like to say that you are correct when you state that there is a, well, you didn't use the terminology, but the word you were looking for is classism, right? And this is something that I've talked about before on this platform, where you're going to have the poor versus the rich versus the poor. Notice how there's no middle class in there, because the middle class pretty much doesn't exist. My mom has told me for the longest time that I've been alive that somewhere during my lifetime, or maybe a little bit further, that there's no longer going to be a class considered the middle class. Right? Case in point, you can look at the dynamics of California and look at how the money, and look at how that scale has slid in such a way where even if you are making hundreds of thousands or whatnot, whatever, they can technically consider you poor, which is crazy. You would just be on a higher percentile of being less poor, right? Versus the rich, who are basically the one percenters, the wealthy of the wealthy. They got these estates, these huge mansions, they got land all over the place, like they're the UK, doing all of these illegal contracts under the table and writing in specific words so that you don't know that you're getting screwed over. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. But Jim, your people wanted this. They asked for this. Even though Black Americans have specifically tried to tell you guys, hey, we've seen how this story goes. You might want to stop while you're ahead. This is not the direction that you want to head into. As hard-headed as ever, your people decided that they wanted to go full steam ahead. Like the captain of the Titanic. Not even God himself could sink this ship. And guess what happened to the Titanic? That boy got sunk. Now, at least that's the story, the face cover of the story. In other instances, there's some other underlining things that were taking place with, specific people that were on the boat and yada, 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 and what those people were going to do. And, the reason why the boat got sank. JP Morgan and all the rest. And yeah, Rothschilds. And anyways, it's crazy though. It's diabolical work. But like I said, shout out to you, Jim, because you are one of the few that, in a sense, realize and understands how your people are getting swindled and fooled by their own. And a lot of your own, are part of the elite class. They're the ones that sat up there and did the exact same thing now that they did in Europe, where you had the melanated folks there. You can call them Black or whatever it is that you want to call them. And then you have the Europeans. Right? You're going to have the poor that were going to uprise against the elites, against the rich. And they were like, oh, this is looking kind of bad. Well, we can't have, if they really get us, they're going to take us out. You know what the elites did? They did the same exact thing that they're doing to the Black community, the men and the women right now. They got into the heads of the Europeans, the white Europeans. They were like, you know what? You guys, we really don't like you guys. You guys are actually dirty, but you guys are a little bit better than the Black ones there. Right. And to show you that, we're going to give you a little bit of something to let you know. We're going to give you a certain type of like branding. We're going to, maybe divvy off some land directly to you. Right. You're going to make a little bit more money than them. Matter of fact, you might even dress a little bit better than them. You're still poor. You're still poor. You're still going to have the whole outhouse and multiple kids and probably bathing once a week or whenever it rains and it comes through the hole in your shack. But just know that we feel, even though we don't like you, we're not going to be next to you. We're not going to associate with you. Just know that we feel that you're a little bit better than them. And because they told you guys that, this is why the elite class were still able to rule in Europe. And this is why they're still there at this moment in time. Right? Just saying. And it's the exact same thing that they're doing here in America. But like I said, everybody's not directly on that bandwagon. Everybody's not ready for that train yet. So this is where we are. We're at this one stop, right? Where everybody's focused on what this person's sexuality is. We're focused on the things going on with the feminists. We're focused on this thing here. Oh, Blacks are 90% of the crime in the United States and da. But yet nobody's looking at the puppet master pulling the strings. Nobody's looking at the giant hands directly in the sky that is guiding all of this chaos throughout the United States. It's crazy work, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Tippy said, I wish I could have generational wealth. Must be nice to have old money. Tippy is only thinking about a PS5 right now. I just want people to know PS5 and Sims and and what was that game I told her about that was sort of like The Sims? Enjoy. Yeah. I swear that's where Tippy's at right now. But yep, that is where we are, people. That is where we are. Also, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that has currently been here at this live stream at this moment in time. Shout out to Gail because she has been here for the full 1 hour and 36 minutes. I'm proud of you, Gail. I am so proud because usually you duck off on me and you just disappear. We even got Tippy in here, right? The duo in the building at this moment in time. We got lunch in the building. What is up? What is up? You said that white boy can't tell us about the countless videos of banks calling police on white people after they've been given all of their money and information required. That's true. That's true. Wait, what did y'all do? Yo, rolling up with the party hats. Oh man. Let me tell you something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yes, that is pretty much it. Let me tell you, I actually would have had this started up at 12, but you know, Monster Hunter got the best of me. Like I said, being transparent, being honest. Let me tell you, like I said, I am a gamer directly at heart, and certain times you want to take breaks, and you just want to relax sometimes, you know. But you got a job to do, and this is why I'm here. So, you know, hopefully you guys liked or enjoyed this live stream, and you guys were able to take something directly from it or hear something. What was it? What Tim say? Tippy, do you need a PS5 that bad? LOL, I got you. See, Tippy, if you ask, you shall receive. See, look at that. Look at that. JK said, yeah, you can't get a female lyricist and storyteller rapper on the short attention span of TikTok. Yeah. Timothy said, what's this dude's name of his video? Oh, I'm not even sure. The video was posted directly on X, and I don't even know. I don't even know. Alan said, why are Black Americans always crying? Let me guess, you're either from Europe or you're from the UK. That's some crazy work. You have to be. It's either you're Canadian, you're from the UK, Europe. You gotta be from one of those main places. Australia is like rare. It's rare that, you know, Australians are really opening their mouth to really, you know, say anything, you know, in a sense. Australians pretty much, I would want to say, at least from what I've been able to see, they pretty much mind their business, right? They just focus on what's going on, you know, there. They don't really try to get into the mix of, you know, other people's business. You said Alan is you said it's an observation. You know, the craziest part is the main people that have always cried the most were not actually Black Americans. Black Americans just did whatever it is that they had to sit up there and do. Hook or crook. No matter how it is that we had to sit up there and make it happen, we decided to sit up there and make it happen. It's hilarious that if we have a gripe or an issue, it's considered crying. But when white Americans or Europeans or white people in general around the world have an issue, it's not considered crying. It's being an activist. It's making people, is holding their feet to the fire. It's making others accountable for the situation, right? It's amazing how these things are looked at, you know, differently. It's crazy. You sit up here talking about some womp womp, but you're here. So let me get this straight. So you came to a Black YouTube channel to complain about Black Americans crying. So you're complaining about other people complaining, and you're coming here to complain. Like you said, this is just an observation. You guys are crazy. Let me tell you something. I love it though. It is beautiful. You said you sound like a child. Oh, that's cute. I mean, the best part is, you know what? I have no problem with that. If I sound like a child, that's beautiful. That means that I'm immortal for all intents and purposes. That also means that I don't have to dodge the sun at all. Just gonna put that directly out there. You know, because I know a lot of people are suffering from skin cancer at this moment in time. I'm not one of them. Let me tell you, it's crazy work though. Shout out to God. God did. Shout out to DJ Khaled. You know, I'm just gotta put that directly out there because it's crazy out here how people want to come recklessly talking him off. Alan said, I'm scrolling by and see this nonsense. Well, keep scrolling by. Like, the same way that you showed up in silence is the same way that you could have left. But Alan, because you don't get attention, obviously probably from your father, or maybe you got a little bit too much attention from the men in your family, you decided that you wanted to come here for whatever reason. That was a bad decision. And then on top of that, you decided that you wanted to speak up and you wanted to be a straight jackass. Good job. Like I said, you better, whenever you go outside, just remember you need SPF 15. When I go outside, I don't. When I go outside, God smiles at me, not against me. Like I said, we are different. So going back to what somebody else listed before, where they wanted to say that black people are racist because they feel that they are human. We are. I don't know how else to sit up there and tell you. Let me the exact same thing I always state, right? Is that at the end of the day, right? The sun nurtures, loves, and feeds every living thing, right? Feeds it, gives it energy, it allows it to live. For whatever reason, your population has they can't tolerate the sun. I don't know why that is. You would have to actually explain it to me, right? Because one race out of all races have always stated that they were the superior race. They're the masters of the universe, right? And the craziest part is when you think about master of the universe and you see a white man with blonde hair, fair skin, and you think about all these many stars directly out there. I'm like, how would you be able to actually survive on any of these planets, given the fact that on Earth itself, with a yellow sun, you can barely survive? Like, even one of your women before on a video with a black man stated that the reason why your women happen to mate with black men is for survivability, is so that their genes could live just a little bit longer, so that whatever potential bloodline diseases that you have, the black that is there, that DNA will basically cancel that out. Like I said, I'm not making this up. This is coming directly from one of your women. And I'm pretty sure that you guys know genetics because you guys are the ones that do eugenics and whoop, 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 and all this other type of good stuff. So I'm pretty sure that you guys know the short end of the DNA stick when it deals with that versus other groups directly out here who don't have those complications or those problems. And this also goes back to a video that I put out there before dealing with Bill Gates and how it is that he, a white man, wants to, how do we say, block out the sun to make the earth cooler. Black people don't need, or I'm sorry, let me just do it a different way. People who have melanin built in, right? God given directly from the universe. When you look into the sky at night, all that stuff that you see, that quote unquote dark matter, that is melanin, right? That you're looking at vast melanin directly out there. You're not looking at a whiteboard, you're looking at a blackboard, right? So we don't need the earth to be cool because we can survive. We're good. No problem. We're Gucci. You guys, on the other hand, is a little bit different. You guys need cooler climates. This is why you don't live all over Africa. You live in certain parts that welcome you, that are favorable for you. Just putting that out there. Again, for anybody else that want to roll directly through my comment section and want to try to get stupid, I want you to remember there are such things as coloring books. Just saying. Just saying. I'm just putting that directly out there. Like I said, no matter how you guys want to sit up there and clown and you want to come directly up here, you want to talk about the crime rates and all this other type of, just remember the rates of skin cancer. Just remember that. Just remember, if the heat, if the earth actually heats up, Just remember who are going to be the last people that are going to be on this planet. Just saying. Like I said, if you don't have no underground cities, you don't got these vaults that you guys are creating, these doomsday vaults and all this other type of stuff. The ark that you got in either Antarctica or the North Pole that holds all of the seeds from around the planet. If y'all don't got none of that type of shelter, none of that fancy gizmos or gadgets, just imagine who's going to sit up there and survive. Just saying. Tippy said, "Oh, sorry, went off topic." What was it? Let me see. Wait, what did Tippy say? Hey, Princess Peace, what is up? What is up? What's up? Tippy said they're not superior. Look at all the problems the world is going through because of them. They're greedy, selfish, sick people. How you have a mummified body on display at a museum for the world? Yeah, and it's funny. I think, Tippy, you're actually referring to something that I talked about the live stream from, it should have been yesterday. I had brought that up as well because we had somebody trying to clown in the comment section then. And I'm like, that's some crazy work. I'm like, the greatest of greatest thieves. And you want to roll up here and you want to try to talk about black people. I'm like, but all over Europe, you got artifacts, stolen bodies from other people's ancestors on display. You don't even display like that. That's the craziest thing that I just thought about, right? Think about Europe, right? They have all of this love for themselves and their people, but yet they don't have themselves on display. They don't have their queens and their kings and their, caskets or whatever it is. They don't have that on display. They'll have everybody else's stuff on display. That's some crazy work. That is some crazy work for a group of people to quote unquote love themselves more than anybody else. You don't even convey that in the museums of which people are coming in to literally view and pay and to see information. If I actually love myself, I'm going to sit up there. My whole, like, if I were to have a museum, you're going to see my whole family directly through there. You're going to be having a membership and everything. You're going to sit up there and see the beginning, the middle, and the future. But like I said, it's crazy work, though. Crazy work. But this is the world that we live in. It's all love, though. I know somebody in the background probably mad. They probably punching the air at this moment in time. But it is what it is. It is directly what it is. But again, wait, what was it? Wait, Justin Turek said, yeah, they actually have civilization. Who doesn't have a civilization? Like, now this is let me just roll back. Justin, let me just pull back because sometimes I like to go on the attack. Are you specifically talking about Africans or are you talking about Europeans? Let me just not go off on the deep end because I'm known for doing that. I'm trying to pull back. I'm trying to become a better person. trying to be a better person. So I'll give you a little bit of time to reply back to that. Sham said they got to keep those museums because that's how they tell their lies. It's got to seem real to them. That's bars. Ty said, not me. Wait, what is that talking about? Wait, what is that talking about? What was it? Vlad said, yeah, don't worry. The white man will invent something and be just fine. I agree. It is what it is, just not what you think. I mean, I guess so. I mean, you got trying to cool down the whole planet, trying to block out the sunlight, which again looks kind of weird. The only people that I know that want to block out the sunlight are vampires. And what do vampires look like? I'm just saying, just making an observation, right? Because the main stories, right? Not talking about the Vlad the Impaler and all this, but other stories of vampires. The main thing that they wanted to do, if they had powers, was to cause a permanent solar eclipse so that it will be permanent night, so that they could basically rule over the planet. But in order for them to rule over the planet, the sun cannot be out as it is at this moment, right? But like I said before, there's only one group of people that want to, in a sense, block out the sun, Just saying. And it happens to match up with vampires. I'm just saying. I don't know, just an observation. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. And then you said that, don't worry about white people, they'll just invent something. The funniest thing about white people and inventing is that a lot of the inventions directly out here were created by people that were not white. Especially when you think about America, if you actually choose to do your due diligence in your history and you don't want to actually stay ignorant, because for whatever reason, people are like, yeah, white people invented everything. Except, when it deals with Asia, they did that. The Asians are smart, and maybe another group, they're smart too. But anybody else that's darker than us, yeah, they didn't invent anything. They're just using what it is that we created. And that's how you guys tend to go about history, which is crazy. Diabolical work. Let me see. Yo, silly. She was like, "So you trying to play us?" This was his community college entry scholarship video thesis. Gil got jokes. Gil got jokes. Oh, that's cute. So we got the quote unquote doctor in the building, doctor of children, said that the reason why there aren't white artifacts in museums is because white artifacts are all around you as modern civilization. Your civilization is put on display because the remains of yours is mud huts. The funniest thing is? The funniest thing is that there are actually castles in Africa. Color me surprised. Color me surprised when I found out years later, because of the miseducation by way of America, that Africa has cities. And like I said, I'm not ashamed to sit up there and say that I really believed the theory of what it is that America or Europe likes to portray, right? Because again, where it is that you are, those are the teachings that you are going to go by. Case in point, there was a woman that escaped North Korea, and in the way that they are taught, they feel that pretty much Korea is the only thing. Korea is pretty much North Korea is the center of the universe, right? Some of them were shocked to even learn that there were other people that looked different, right? That had different, skin colors and all of these things, that there were different languages, right? Because that's not what they were taught. But like I said, it is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, as everybody's able to see with the common technology that we have, that, hey, Africa is full of cities. It's full of hustle and bustle. They have all of these hundreds of millions of people, billions, right? Directly all over. Well, a billion. I'm sorry, I said billions. A billion plus all over that landmass. And you have people living a variety of different ways. But as the doctor would like to sit up there and state that, there's nothing but mud huts there. But the craziest thing is somebody like him would be the main ones that would happen to take trips over there to Africa, to those cities. And they would be there because they actually get to live like they've always wanted, right? Because the main fantasy for a lot of white Americans, they want to live the theory, right? Or the thought that was given to them, like, oh yeah, they used to have all these kings and these queens and da rolling all over Europe. It was a renaissance. It was this and that, right? But in America, it's like we don't get to have that dream, right? White people don't get to have that dream of making their money and living like kings and living in luxury and all this stuff. So how do they do it? They end up saving up some money, taking a trip, going over there to Africa, and then they're able to buy a nice house, of which they don't have over here. The houses are built very sound. They're built complete. It also comes with land. You're not having to worry about all of these taxes and all this exaggerated stuff that America throws directly on you. Your money goes light years versus in America where it will stop on 2 cents. It's vastly different. And then as soon as you look out of your window, every single day is something different. You might see a giraffe, right? You might see a variety of things taking place, right? And then the area, the landmass is so large that you could just spend just some years trying to experience to go to and from there. And that's just one piece. And then you're like, why would I ever want to go back to America when this is life? And then on top of that, the Africans are going to treat you beautifully. They're going to treat you nicely. In some instances, they're going to worship you because you're white. But like I said, the quote unquote doctor doesn't want to mention or talk about that though. But as he said, you know, the history of over there in Africa is nothing but mud huts. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. Uh-oh, we got Craig in the building. He said black man started slavery. The white man stopped slavery. What do you call the jail and the prison systems? Any guess? Any that's still slavery. Because you do know that those men and those women there that are locked up are considered property, right? I'm not sure if you really thought that slavery was stopped. It may have been stopped in one way, and it was just continued and rebranded. But better yet, let me just put it to you another example, Craig. Right? You got men and women and children directly in your community that are in a form of slavery, perpetual slavery, by way of them being hooked on the drugs, the alcohol, and in a lot of instances, some of them are being trafficked themselves. But you want to get on here, you want to try to bolster in front of me as if the whole lot, as the European UKs would say, the whole lot of you just got up one day and was like, oh, we see a wrong and we have to make things right. Let's go out there, guys, and end slavery. Word? You guys were just the do-gooders of the whole universe, where you're just doing nothing but good. You have to be kidding me. Like I said, the fairy tales that you guys like to tell yourselves, the narratives that you guys like to write, because you have this type of nature where you just feel like you have to be the hero. And the reason that you feel that way is because of all of the wrongs that you have done historically. So because you can't face those facts and you don't want other people to put those facts thrown directly up into your face, you have to consistently create these type of narratives. Either it's you have to be the hero, or it's the narrative of other people have to be these villains. Oh, black people did slavery. Black people set up to selling drugs. Black people with guns. Black people with crime all across America. Ah! It's crazy. It's crazy. Diabolical. Random account says, who says that the pyramids were built by higher beings? I guess you never watched the History Channel. I guess you never watched the Discovery or TLC. I guess you never watched any of those channels or any of the many so-called documentaries that people put directly out there. I've seen a lot of. I'm not sure how people miss any of these things as if I'm just making stuff up on a whim. That's how it's always worked. Even other scientists, when they can't explain certain things, they'll be like, oh, it's aliens. They're not going to say God. They're not going to say gods or gods. They're going to say it's aliens, right? Because remember, science is away from God. It's away from religion, even though I like to tell people that both the Bible and science are part of the exact same book. But, you know, like I said before, a lot of things happen to get separated to keep things separate for certain reasons. But it is what it is. Right? But it's out there if you want to happen to look for the information of people stating that the pyramids were built by aliens. Like I said, that's the narrative that other people want to sit up there and put, because they can't explain how it is that, quote unquote, a primitive people in Africa were able to sit up there and do this with the ingenuity, with the science. And because in their minds, they're like, well, Europeans, we don't have this technology to even cut stone like this. The amount of documentaries that I've seen where it dealt with the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Olmecs, Easter Island, or the pyramids, the amount of times I've literally heard white scientists say that we don't have the technology, we can't even fathom, we can't even recreate how it is that how they did this. And I'm like, so out of all of the things we quote unquote went to the moon, as they say, but you mean to tell me that you cannot recreate how it is that they built the pyramids, nor can you figure out how it is that they moved the blocks? And even when they tried to figure out a way, it still didn't make sense. Hey, it's crazy. You said you should try reading engineering books and figure out for yourself how the pyramids are built. look here, that's not my battle. I'm just simply stating what it is that other people have stated because they feel that other people are in such a primitive mindset that they could not have had the ability. They couldn't have had the brain power to basically create some unless Europeans were the ones that basically built it or gave them the information. That's my point. That's my point. Let me see. What was it? Letitia, Elon Musk called his people to migrate to the United States. They quickly declined because they knew life is a lot better for them there than it would have been here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, what is we got somebody else. You said no scientist has ever said aliens. I guess so. Uh you also got archaeologists out there as well too. Both. Just just putting it out there. If you've never seen any of these things from like TLC, the History Channel, or whatnot, whatever, I get it. I get why you would sit up there and say it, but like I said before, you can easily go research any of this stuff. This stuff is like back like 10, 20 years ago that they literally broadcasted and aired. But Demir said, why do black people need to babble so much nonsense? Why do white people need to lie so much? Historically speaking. Just saying that just asking the question since you want to ask a question. I'm gonna answer a question with a question. If we babble so much, why do white people lie so much? It's that simple. It's that simple. It's easy, right? Just saying. Just saying. You said LOL is free discourse not allowed here. Are you not talking? I'm just Are you not talking? I'm just, just asking. In North America, mounds were constructed by various indigenous cultures, especially in the eastern and the central parts of the continent. These mounds were used for different purposes. Bars. That is facts. JK said pyramids really aren't that complex of a structure. It was more impressive how people managed to create building materials that were sturdy that lasted years. You said say no to single moms. Wait, which I'm not even sure what video that would even be. Relevant said free ignorance is not allowed here. You will get verbally popped. It's crazy work. Crazy work. Like I said, that's why I love doing live streams. It's always something new every single day. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Gail Jones, she said cruel summer. Oh man. Shout out to Pusha T. Shout out to Pusha T. It's gonna be a cruel summer. Cruel summer. Oh, that's dope. Princess listed a lot of the mounds. You got I might mispronounce some of these names. You got Tupelo. Wait. Tupelo mounds in Mississippi. Etowah mounds in Georgia. Poverty Point in Louisiana. Hopewell Culture National Historic Park. And you got Moundsville Archaeological Site in Alabama. And then you got Serpent Mound. Okay. Let me see what else we got. We ready in the building. What is up? What is up? Make sure I caught up to everybody. Dear white people, why do you always lie? Yeah, that's facts. Yeah. So I'm just a little bit confused, right? So Wills, right? So you have a problem with what it is that I'm stating. No problem, right? No problem. Are you American by chance? Let me know. Talking to what is it? Wills 35. Let me know if you are American. Right? And like I said, you can be honest, maybe you might be European, right? Maybe you might be Australian or something. Oh man. Ty sitting up there putting people in the shadow realm. Oh man. Technically it's probably Ty Ammo probably throwing people in the shadow realm right now. Dang. The shadow realm got busy. So that's what's been happening to everybody. Oh man, it's diabolical. Diabolical. What was that? Hunt 42 said, "Get your money up." I mean, I'm all right. I mean, I don't know specifically what that is supposed to mean. What is that? Gia Jolie, what is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. And you said question marks. I'm a little bit confused. Hunt said that sounds ridiculous. I don't even understand. You wrote the comment. What? I don't understand what sounds ridiculous. JK says, "Stop pocket watching." That's bars. But like I told y'all before, that's what tends to happen. At one point in time in a live stream, somebody wanted to try to tell me how much money I was making. I was like, "That's crazy. That is crazy." Let me see. Gia Jolie said, "What stupidity are you spewing?" Let me know what's stupid. Let me know what part of the live stream did you come in on? Wait, Tibby said, "Wait, is she black?" I don't know, because a lot of people like to have these pictures. They like to download pictures or whatnot or whatever and portray themselves to be black at the end of the day. So we will never know. And Ty is like, "Hey, we're just going to get that nonsense. We're going to pack them on up." That man is packing people up in overtime. JK said, "You tell him none ya dang business." I mean, technically that's facts, but again, this is entertainment for you guys. So this is why I happen to entertain this stuff on top of responding back to you guys' comments. A lot of the times, like I said, to me, it's funny. At a moment in time, previously years ago, it was horribly annoying. I'm like, man, I got to get rid of like all of these people trying to troll, and this is ridiculous. It's taken away from this. It's taken away from that. I'm like, nah, no problem. I'm just gonna sit up there and make them content. No problem. Like somebody said, get my money up. I'm gonna do just that while sitting up there clowning you at the same time. I can sit up there and bring up your comment real quick and make a quick $10. No problem. I got you, buddy. Got you. I can do that with or without you. The choice is yours, Tom. The choice is yours. Just saying. Ty said, what was it? Henry said, drop some knowledge on us. Hey. I mean, technically at this moment in time, where we at? About a good 2 hours. The knowledge was dropped about a good hour plus ago. I will sit up there and say that respectfully. Because normally at this moment in time, either we start talking about video games or I start venturing, because I think I was actually supposed to end the live stream back at a minute and 38, if I remember correct. I'm sorry, not a minute. It was an hour and 38 ago. So yeah. But yeah, shout out to Henry there. Shout out to Henry. I got you. But yeah, I was doing a lot of the talking, like earlier on. This was more so me just responding to a lot of the trolls that like to come directly through. You said gotta check that out. Hey, much respect for checking out the replay. Much love. Ty said, outside of that, they bore me because I be want to argue, but they won't acknowledge me. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. I mean, technically, it used to be at a different time where the trolls, they would come in and then they would solely just argue with you guys and they wouldn't even acknowledge me. I'm like, wow. I'm like, am I not talking to these guys right now? Like, y'all don't see me? So, it's the whole reverse. Because I remember times that Gail would be going tooth and nail with trolls back and forth. I remember instances of it would be Kia, Brother Exile. We got Light. You would have Q, Trills, K5. Who else? Nene would be there as well. It would be a lot of people. It would be a lot of people. And in rare instances, when people aren't busy, you would have brother Torian come directly into the live chat every now and again, and he'll be sitting up there hammering down some folks too. Or he'll let them know. He was like, "Hey, if you want to have this conversation, you can come directly to my channel." Like I said, dope, awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Tibby said, "You've been live for 2 hours. I've only been here for 30 minutes." Yeah, YouTube doesn't like to give you guys the proper notifications. Yo, Young, what is up? Yep, what is up? What is up? What's up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. You said, yeah, but YouTube sends me notifications late. Yeah, they do that to a lot of y'all. They do that to a lot of y'all time and time again. And even when I send out standard videos, they still do the exact same thing. There used to be a point in time. That's how I told y'all before that I know that the channel is watched because the delay that happens. Because at one point in time when I used to go live, let's say like earlier on when I first started the platform, I would instantly, see you guys there. Like it would just be there. Now it's a delayed rotation that goes out because I'm able to see the numbers when I go live. And I know within the first minute or so how it's in a sense going to, look. Or sometimes it can be random. We're all here and allowed to produce the product same number of generations right now. I'm not even sure why didn't the black family bring wealth from Africa? What? You writing a whole bunch of stuff. Ty said, well, if you hear a random voice telling you that Seiji is on, it's me. Ty said, don't ask, just accept it. So now I got to be like Randy Orton. I hear voices in my head and they talk to me. That's what we're doing. JK is responding back to who was that up there? To Robert Adams. JK basically told you because you stole the wealth. Because your last part of your question was like, why didn't what was it? Why didn't black families bring wealth from Africa? Yeah, because y'all stole it. It's easy question. Easy question. Think about where's all the wealth from the quote unquote Native Americans, right? All of their history, all of their belongings and whatnot. It was stolen. It was divided amongst people. It was burned up into ashes and so on and so on and so on. Exact same thing. Ty said I'll be quick with it. Bars. Fortune said she's an agent of destruction. Oh, you talking about the one that was talking earlier? Probably so. Ty said time to get back on Frostpunk. Yo, the funniest thing about Frostpunk? I was actually supposed to get that because I do technically like games like that. And I was looking at it for quite some time. But I'll probably, check it out. We're supposed to, get that at a moment in time. Tippy said, I said you and Tareen should do a stream about black men, a space for them to vent. We've done a live stream before, and I think we may have touched on that topic. I want to say I think we've done about at least I know one. I feel like we've done two before. I'm not sure. But yeah, I will sit up there and say that the times that I have been able to just look at the platform from time to time, he's done a lot of videos. So even if I have not done that video, or that live stream specifically with him, I'm pretty sure that he has a live stream and or a video touching on that topic. And if it's not on his platform, he has collaborated with other black male content creators on social media to, in a sense, do that and whatnot. I think I remember a live stream where he touched on that topic before, but it was so long ago, I can't specifically give you the name. Sham said, so do you think black people are strong and survived that pain of our history is over. That pain has never allowed us to be over. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, basically the pain is always there. Ty said therapy Thursdays. Yeah. Right. Goth said, I watched the live and tried to explain my great-great-grandmother was darker than she was, and I'm 3/4 Cherokee. Huh. Great grandmother was darker than she was. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I got you. Ty said, oh yeah, hold on. Check your stream notifications. Wait, are you telling me to check the stream notifications? Because it's nothing up there on mine. Let me see about that. Oh, you're talking about Steam. I got you. I would have to actually cut on. I can't even cut it on because I don't want nothing to like slow down. I don't want nothing to slow down at the moment. Let me see. I might be able to. Let me do it from my phone. Hold on. Let me check real quick. Steam notifications. I think that should be the bell. You tried to. Okay. So we have a slight snafu technically. The snafu is I'm already on a family group on Steam, and they're like, hey, you can't specifically what they say. It's like you try to accept a invitation to a stream family, but this account is already a member of a family. Please log in to the account to receive the invitation. But the thing is, I'm already logged in. So I'm not sure if that would mean I would have to add you and then do it that way, I guess. Wait, Ty said, you know what? All right. So I'm trying to figure. So wait, if I add you, it would still pretty much do the same thing though, right? Because it's only me and an officer Haku, aka Outlaw, directly on there. Because they tell me I got like 6 spots left. See, I could probably. Okay. So I just okay. So let me just add you. See if I can search my list. Get the Taijutsu master in here. The craziest part is that they actually got the option on Steam to add somebody as a child. And I almost clicked that by mistake because I'm used to just hurrying up and just clicking the button. I'm glad I looked. Okay, you say you got like 5 people on. Okay, yeah, I got you. Sham said the Potawatomi were brown skinned due to their cold climate areas they lived in, but you look at them today and they look fairly white now. Gotcha. Ty was like, I quit. Yeah, I guess because we're both a part of families, we can't do it. I guess that's what it is. But it's all cool though. It's all cool. It's the thought that counts, brother. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Just like those heels that you were dealing out on Mech. On what was it? I was about to say Mech Warrior on Mecha Break. Doing work out there. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it before I just start randomly, talking about random stuff at this moment in time, because this is not that live stream. Any and all videos that you were able to see, the clips, I will have that uploaded in a shorter version. So instead of it being 2 hours and 19 minutes, you will just be able to sit through about, a good 15-minute video with a simple commentary at the very end of the video, talking about either a topic that was covered by way of the videos or maybe another news related article or a topic. So yeah, if you ain't subscribed, then you should subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, it is what it is. Hit that like button. It's just Just hit the like button. Hit the like button for a brother. But again, much love, respect, and appreciation. Love you guys a lot. But you guys are free. Go out there and have fun. Order some Uber. Get some food because I know I'm about to get some food. What to say? Saturday too? Oh yeah, it's game night. That's what we're about to be doing out here. We're gonna be sitting up there gaming and getting some stuff in. So love you guys a lot. Shout out to Gail. Love you too. Shout out to Tippy. Much love, much love. God said y'all be blessed. Same as well. Go spend time with the grandkids because normally it'd be about that time. From every live stream that I've seen so far, you're like, it's time to, go spend time with the grandkids and whatnot. Everybody be safe. Go get your feng shui in order. I can't even get my normal words together right now. But yeah, love you guys a lot. Thank you guys for being here, staying with me, just listening to me yammer, going over the videos, and pretty much showing up every single day. Gail said Seiji is a gigolo. That's cold-blooded. It's cold-blooded, Gail. Cold-blooded. But anyways, I will see you guys on the next live stream. Peace out. Gail is silly, let me tell you.